And welcome back to the Crypto Hawk program. Oh, got a great one lined up for you. Yes. Now, I'm going to show you both sides of XDC, Canton, what is going on. I think what's happening is we are getting very close to institutional use of this crypto. And what we found, or what we're seeing here today, I'm going to show you how okay, look, Canton Coin, XDC, Canton Network, R3, we're going to get into what's going on in the industry, but these cryptos have different uses, like different platforms. They have a different use case. What we're seeing now is Canton offers better or a more variety of things than R3 Corda. And the use cases are complementary. We're going to get into all this. I don't necessarily see any of these coins. These are all good coins. XDC is a good coin. I personally switched over to Canton. I don't want you to do that, okay? So I'm going to make that very clear. I'm going to try to break this down, but what I'm seeing is a lot of these platforms are leaving XDC because Canton is better at certain things, and then XDC is better for certain things. And I'll break down in the end. What we're going to do in the very beginning is go over an article, which I'm going to give you right now. Right meow. And let me get this set up. We're going to go over this article, and then we're going to look at some Grok AI information. Then I'm going to show you the three cryptos, Coasty, and then we got Cheedy Lee, Stuart Lavelle. I know I saw 1970 Legend in there in the beginning. Yeah, right there. So let's go over this. I got a lot of work to do, so let's get right into this. My name is Crypto Hawk. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about financial advice. I don't know anything about crypto. One thing I do know is about hardcore drug use. Every day, I stay smoking solids. Rock cocaine, powdered cocaine, heroin, opium. What else? LSD. I take all kinds of drugs 24/7. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. So don't go selling off shit that you think I'm telling you to sell off. All I'm going to do is read off news to you, and you're gonna forget I even said it. There's Chaz DM. There you go. Hulk, sending this over. Looking forward to connecting. Can't wait. Not to be a broke dick normie. Okay, so you're fully paid up. I was talking to you earlier. Contact me on, let me just write down your name on I have like Santa Claus has a good and naughty list, and I got one of those too. Let's see here. All right, I'll put your name and stuff on there. Contact me later. I'll get your phone number. Let me use a different pen. Okay. All right. Shah Iskander. He's a $500 member. All right. Let's get into this news. 28 months, have been here way longer. Thanks to YouTube, had to start over, being absent fee incoming. So what we got going on, this is why I'm telling you, as this crypto gets closer to when we get crypto regs, right now, these alerts, they're going to start coming out, okay? Things change. Priorities change. Change is okay. Change is okay. But the change that's not okay, I won't get into that right now. I want to focus on this. I had to send out an alert to the $500 people because I liquidated all of my XDC to get Canton coin. Some people like to know exactly what I do when I do it. So that's why they join the $500 club. Wayne Crypto, howdy, Crypto Hulk. Keep up the awesome work. Wow, thank you very much. That's pretty cool. Yes, Wayne. And hey, look, some people want to get connected. I got $500 for 3 months. As this crypto moves forward, you're going to see alerts coming out like this. I already told you months ago, maybe even last year or whatever, when we get really close to this crypto thing going, you're going to information is money. It's going to make you a lot of money. If you got the right information, you can bust moves quick before bad shit happens, okay? That's why I like the Caleb Brown. You can email them within minutes, or you can just do your own trade immediately. You know, if there's a problem, you call them up, hey, da-da-da-da-da. You can't do that with other exchanges, okay? That's why information and transmission is very, very important to have. Let me go over this article. XDC is good. XDC is good. Pay attention here because we're going to talk about what's going on with XDC. Securities lending market volume is expected to reach 21,499 billion by 2034. According to Allied Market Research, the securities lending, everybody, is going to be amazing. Growing at a compound rate of 5 cents. I don't understand all that finance talk stuff. According to the research, rising hedge fund short selling and growing passive investing are driving fintech innovation in collateral management, boosting the global securities lending market. I'm not mixed up in all this, but this is like a big deal. What I'm showing you here is the people all around the world that do this, all this securities lending and all that, which runs the world. This is growing at a very good rate with cryptocurrency, okay? I'm going to have to cherry pick this. They're talking about private credit instruments, digital securities, and real estate investment trusts. Anything that goes on the Canton network, that's real estate, that's the RISE token, RIZE. All these companies we're going to learn about today, they're ditching the R3 Corda XDC network and going with Canton, all right? Now, when they start talking about the real estate shit, that's where RISE comes in. So let me keep going here. XDC is still a great crypto, but they're finding out Canton coin can do certain things better, okay? Now, this article here, they're talking about largest segment, government bonds, sovereign debt, lending backs, repo. I don't deal with any of these things, and I'm not going to even try to understand them because I don't even fucking care. Institutional investors broaden their lending programs beyond core equity holdings. So corporate bonds and other securities are an increasingly large share of the market of securities lending. You know how you have you have crypto and you want to be able to lend it and all that? Well, these people are trying to do the same thing, but on a much, much billion-trillion-dollar scale. Retail brokers, here we go, like Caleb Brown, grew the fastest of borrowing segments through creating fee-sharing arrangements whereby broker-dealers use their digital platforms to offer securities lending service to retail and wealth management client bases that aim to enhance client engagement, platform revenue. The United States and Canada are the largest region in the securities lending market, accounting for 41% of global revenue. Oh my God. Canada and United States are 40% of all the global crypto type trades. It will all be on crypto, utilizing cryptocurrency technology. They're using AI. Europe ranks second in the securities lending market. Now, if you read through this article here, it talks nothing about any crypto or any companies, okay? So again, what Crypto Hulk does is I find an article that says almost nothing about crypto or whatever, and now here's your deep dive for that article. The provided URL to Securities Finance Times, April 24th, securities lending market volume to reach US 21,490. Summarizes, here we go. You read that article bores the hell out of you, and it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't even talk about crypto. That's where Crypto Hulk comes in, okay? You can read an article, and you're not going to know anything about it because it's not going to be anything important in there unless we do the deep dive. This article summarizes a new Allied Market Research report forecasting global securities lending growth, okay? Key drivers include short selling, passive investing, fintech collateral management innovation. Right there, everybody. Bam. That boring ass article, Crypto Hulk resuscitates it, brings it to life. We are talking about fintech collateral management innovation. Fintech is crypto. Collateral is the crypto that you have and how you manage it innovatively. That means they're going to take crypto and make money on it, okay? That's summarizing. They're going to use AI to do all this. AI-enabled optimization and blockchain-based post-trade infrastructure. That they're getting everything set up for cryptocurrencies, everybody. Like I told you, they're going to give you an article. They're going to give you an article and say, look, we told you. But if you don't deep dive the article, you're not going to find. That's what makes Crypto Hulk different than any other crypto show, is that I'm going to give you an article, show you that article. You will not see one fucking thing about crypto in that article. What my job is to do is to bring magic. My job is to bring magic and show you this is what that article really is talking about. So that's why people want to get this $500 membership, because I see I don't see dead people yet, but I see all kinds of things other channels will not even see in an article, okay? We are talking about fintech collateral management innovation using AI, starting with blockchain-based post-trade infrastructure in North America. 41% of the whole world, we're going to be running 41% of that, okay? That is massive. 2 countries in charge of 41% of all global securities lending trade on crypto. Amazing. And that's why America's going last. I've already predicted to you all these Ripple partners. Ripple Russia, they're going to take off first. Ripple China, they're going to take off first. Ripple Israel, Ripple Hong Kong, Ripple Indonesia. All these countries I keep naming off are going to have all their crypto first. You'll see when all this shit happens, just like America will be last. And people are like, damn, Crypto Hulk, you called all this stuff. Yep, I'm just letting you know. Blockchain based. It explicitly flags digital securities and tokenized alternative assets as new I repeat, as new lending opportunities and diversification sources, plus fintech-enabled peer-to-peer platforms. Oh, man. Now, in the article, there's no crypto projects talked about. There's no tokens talked about. None of that stuff. But Crypto Hulk knows how to pull it from. I can pull water out of a rock. Not Iraq, a rock. What do we got here? Focus is on projects enabling on-chain securities lending, collateral mobility, tokenized equities, tokenized bond lending, and distributed ledger technology. Let's look right here. Figure Technology Solutions. That's one of the companies we're going to talk about. And then we're going to talk about Provenence blockchain, layer 1, for real-world asset securities finance. So let's start here. On-chain origination, issuance, trading, and lending, borrowing of tokenized real-world assets, everybody. Initially, they're HELOC loans, home equity lines of credit, expanding to equities via the Open Network. That's, I think, a crypto network called the Open Network. They might have a coin. I'm not sure. But they're talking about this right here, this Open Network and auto finance. They're talking about democratized prime marketplace enables institutional and retail security style lending and borrowing with automatic settlement 24/7. They are literally showing us right here. They're giving us the names of companies. One, Figure Technology Solutions, and the other one is Provenence Blockchain. They will be involved in the transformation of the world security platforms, okay? Just saying. Now, who's the founder of these companies? Mike Cagney. He used to be the SoFi. He was the co-founder and CEO. So he leaves SoFi to start this, which is bigger, obviously, than SoFi. You got Juno OU is the last name, ex-SoFi. And the team that works for this, these people all came from JP Morgan, BlackRock, etc. Provenance is a purpose-built layer 1 blockchain. Guess what it's built on? Cosmo SDK. Let me show you this. I'm going to do a copy paste. You know what Cosmo SDK is? Oh, shit. You already know. Let me show you right here. Let's look up. That's Ripple. Cosmo SDK. Ripple used that for their Ethereum side chains on the XRP ledger. Let's do a copy and a paste. Let me show you what Cosmo is. Evmos, Ethereum Virtual Machine OS, I believe is operating system, collaborates with Ripple and Persist to enhance the Ripple Ledger Ethereum Virtual Machine sidechain. Ripple and Persist will leverage Evmos to further develop and enhance the XRP Ledger sidechain, which is currently in DevNet. Not anymore. This article is May 14th, 2014. The XRP Ledger Ethereum Virtual Machine sidechain will be built leveraging Evmos. That's this Cosmo SDK right here. It brings access to over 60 Cosmo SDK chains via the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. Powered by Evmos, the XRP Ledger Ethereum Virtual Machine sidechains aligns with industry standards. So Ripple brings this Cosmo SDK with the help of Persist, brings it to the XRP Ledger to make it interoperable. That's what we're reading about right here. let me get back to this article. So Provenence is what we're talking about today. Provenence layer 1 blockchain, and that has to deal with hooking up global securities trading. Figure Technology Solutions and Provenence blockchain are involved in this. And the Provenance blockchain, again, is the whole Cosmo SDK, and that's what Ripple's using. So we know Ripple's involved with this. Now, there is a crypto mentioned here called YLDS. It's a yield-bearing token used in lending pools. Here is the token that they're talking about. I didn't buy it, but I'm just putting it out there in case some of you guys are interested. It's YLDS. It's about $1. Its market cap is $550 million. Whew, wait. Let it rip. But YLDS. Let me get on with the show. Now, who are all the partners here? We've got Moo, something called Moo. It's a trading lending integration. The Kepler wallet, KEPLR wallet. Agora Data, AGORA. BitGo for custody. Jump Trading. Project Guardian. Oh my God, everybody, this is massive. This is massive right here. Project Guardian. Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve banking system, and Project Guardian. You got Jay. This is so massive right here. Singapore Monetary Authority, the Singapore government. This is so massive. They're all involved in this, okay? This is so, I could spend 20, 30 minutes talking about Project Guardian. Shit, I could spend 20, 30 minutes talking about anything, even like this cup of water right here. But let's continue. We've got Project Guardian. That is so massive. And you got governments. Governments are involved in Project Guardian. Guess what? Governments are involved with what we're going to be talking about today, Canton Network, okay? Broadridge is brought up here. That's a massive trading Clearstream and major custodians are all involved in this. And again, we got the Open Network is involved. Now, Project Guardian has strong bank ties. Morgan Creek Digital's involved, Parify Capital's involved, and other venture capitals. You've got NASDAQ involved with this. No direct government grants. Let me cherry pick this. Okay, this is massive. You got HQLAX. They are involved. Use case, blockchain, distributed ledger technology for real-time collateral optimization, securities lending, and repo business. HQLAX, which is distributed ledger. This is a platform, HQLAX. It's so massive. It's got all the biggest banks in the world in this thing. What does HQLAX do? It enables instant settlement. It's a crypto platform. It's got reduced counterparty risk, digital securities, collateral. This is massive. You got all kinds of the top banks in the world. They got people working on this HQLAX program. Who are the partners in there? ING Bank, Broadridge, Digital Asset, which is the Canton Network. Ta-da, right there. JP Morgan, Onera, HSBC, BNP Paribas, BNY Mellon. All these are like Ripple partners. Citibank, Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs. They're migrating HQLAX. Let me tell you something. HQLAX started off with the R3 platform, okay, with Corda. They're leaving it. HQLAX is no longer going to be using R3 Corda. Okay. This is what I'm showing. Not that R3 is bad or XDC is bad. They're finding a better use case with Canton. All right. So HQ LAX migration to the Canton network for broader, that means a wider tokenized asset interoperability. They're leaving R3 and the use of the XDC. This is massive right here. You got governments involved, regulatory pilots in the European Union, US, Singapore. 2026 news, active Canton network migration for enhanced means better tokenized security lending. Canton network, is offering a better tokenized security lending than R3 Corda. Okay. Now, Edel Finance, which is the EDEL, it's a token. There's a token. Let's look up Edel, see how much Edel costs. I think it's EDEL. I'm looking on CoinGecko. Edel. Oh, that coin's got 2 zeros and then a 7. So it costs like a wormhole. Let me do a copy paste. If you're interested in buying Edel, that's your choice, not mine. All I do is I provide you information. If you want to buy shit, that's on you. There's nobody under 18 on this show. Well, it's not supposed to be. Edel Finance, it's EDEL. It's on Base. The token is on Base. It is a non-custodian, on-chain lending, borrowing marketplace for tokenized equities. This one is going to be pretty big, Edel. I'm not going to be buying it. I'm just letting you know. If it's dealing with this is a big deal. It's a lending type token. The team with BlackRock, JP Morgan, and TradeFi. Who made Edel? People from BlackRock, JP Morgan, and traditional securities companies. It's built on Base, Ethereum layer 2. It's Edel, a governance utility token. It integrates Ondo and Xstocks and Token Forge for tokenized asset collateral. Now, who are the partners with Edel? You got Token Forge, Canton Network. There you go again. Integration. It's no longer R3 Corda and the XDC. They've left that to go. Ondo is a partner here. T0, okay. The DTCC is right here. Clearstream project. Okay, look, we had to talk a lot. I've shown you the DTCC website. So here's the thing. The DTCC, here's their project. Now remember, this is Project Ion. And I was showing you for the past, year or something like that. Here is the DT. This is massive. This article's 4 years old. DTCC has Project Ion. The DTCC has selected R3 Corda as the underlying DLT technology for Project Ion platform. Okay. So this R3 Corda is going to be used. I'm not saying it's not going to be used. It's going to be used for the DTCC, but then this is a project right here. So, and all the banks are involved in this. announced that its Project Ion, which is being developed as an alternative settlement platform, leveraging distributed ledger technology, has gone live in parallel production environment while upholding the firm's Project Ion is now a parallel processing on an average of over 100,000 transactions per day and 160,000 on peak days. They are using R3 Corda, okay, for that particular project. That's not going to be the only crypto they're going to use, but that is what they're showing us here, because they're also going to be using Canton coin. Let's look right here. So here is also the DTC. Look, Canton coin and R3 Corda, they have different jobs. Okay, they do different things. So it appears the DTCC is going to be using both. All right, DTCC and Digital Asset, which is a company, Digital Asset is the company, they partner to tokenize on the Canton network. So they're using Canton network as a tokenizing agent or company. So, and I will break down later at the end what the use cases are, but I'm not saying the R3 Corda is disappearing. It's just there's a better this crypto does a better job at what it does. Canton does a better job. So now we're talking about these companies, Clearstream or Broadridge, and these different companies, they're going with Canton. If they want to tokenize and that, they're going with Canton. For like trade finance, it's going to be R3 Corda. Different use cases, okay? I think at first they were probably trying to tokenize on the R3 platform. It probably wasn't working as good as they wanted. So that's where Canton comes in. They complement each other. They're not competing for each other. They have different use cases, okay? So they are leaving, these companies that I talked about are leaving R3 Corda platform, and this is where Edel Finance comes in, and Canton, Ondo, Token Forge, the company called Token Forge, and they got Project Guardian mixed up in it, and the DTC is a part of this with Clearstream. And the biggest banks of the world. This is massive right here. Now let me click out of that. Let's look at what is HQLAX. HQLAX is a regulated Luxembourg. When you hear Luxembourg, you already know top 5 family rich, one of the top 5 families of the world. Luxembourg-based fintech firm. It was HQLAX was founded in 2017. It builds enterprise distributed ledger technology infrastructure for collateral mobility in global securities, finance, repo, and tri-party. It does not issue or operate a public token or crypto. Instead, HQLAX creates digital collateral records, which are non-fungible digital ownership records on DLT, representing baskets of securities, allowing frictionless, precise, real-time transfers without physical across-custody movements of underlying. So they're allowing transferring without having to physically cross-custody. Like, yeah, they're going to keep the crypto where it's at, and you can still make trades. This is institutional grade enterprise, not speculative crypto. Originally, here we go, HQLAX. Originally, but not anymore, originally built on R3 Corda. It is actively migrating to the Canton network. There you go. And then you got to use the RISE token as well for property. If you're going to tokenize property. What Canton is doing is getting securities tokenized and for trading. You can't do that as efficiently on R3 Quarter with the XDC. It doesn't work as good. That's why they're leaving that. Now, who made this HQLAX? Some Goldman Sachs banking people made it. I'll just keep it simple. Who are their advisors? Let me take a look in here, see. Simon Squire, BNY Mellon, Global Head of Product Management. BNY Mellon, Ripple Partner. And then he's a Goldman Sachs executive, another Goldman Sachs executive. BNP Paribas, head of marketing. Like, all these people are big shots. Clearstream, global head, Deutsche Bank. Like, everybody's fucking top of the cream of the crop in the investment world here. Let me skip past that. A lot of these people are out of Zug, Switzerland. ING's all mixed up. ING was an early R3 Quarter partner, but ING looks like it's flipped to Canton. Bank and asset managers lock securities at custodians. They issue DCRs on DLT and transfer ownership instantly across. So not using crypto. They're using like certificates. I'm not going to get into all this. But all this, the digital records that they have, it's running on Canton Network for tokenizing. Now, originally, R3 Quarter migrating to the Canton Network for privacy and interoperability. This integrates with Broadridge. So HQLAX integrates with the Broadridge DLR platform, and that is tokenized real assets. They have a company called Onera. Onera's involved with this. It sends fintech P2P. Institutional payments, JP Morgan, of course, is all mixed up in this. The government, are there governments involved in this? Yeah, we have the Luxembourg, the CSSF, regulated, it's Luxembourg, maybe the Securities Exchange of Luxembourg's involved. The Australia Reserve Bank, isn't that something? Australia, little sneaky little devils. Deutsche Börse is involved in this. BNY Mellon, Clearstream, Euroclear, JP Morgan, just a fuck ton of banks. I'm not getting into all this. All the Ripple partner shit, digital assets, of course, Canton Network, so they're involved in that. Let's go to here, social media, no. Partnerships, Deutsche Börse, DB1 Ventures, Eurex Clearing, Clearstream. R3 Quarter original platform, 2017. They're migrating to the Canton right now. So they're leaving R3 Quarter. ING was involved in this, still is. Credit Suisse, BNY Mellon. Now, if you guys remember, R3 Quarter, that's an early Ripple partner. But it always made me wonder, why did R3 and Ripple split up? Maybe because R3 couldn't scale. I don't know. Maybe Ripple knew R3 wasn't the one. Now, R3 is a good crypto. The XDC. I don't have all these answers, but Ripple would have stayed with them if XDC and R3 were the ones. I think they tried to make it work and it didn't work. I don't know what the problem was. Nobody knows. They keep all that shit a secret. But what's not a secret is these companies now, they're leaving R3 Quarter and the XDC and they're switching over to Canton. So that's what I do know, because that's right here. It's pretty obvious. I don't want you to sell any of your XDC at all or whatever. I'm just reading this off. And some people want to know, Crypto Hulk, what are you doing? And I sold mine off. If I'm wrong for that, XDC might go to $1,000 tomorrow. You'd feel dumb if you sold it off, wouldn't you? So don't do what I do, all right? Alrighty then. Right here is the article. Here's HQLAX. If you want to read this article, they're basically telling the world they're switching over to Canton. It's called Digital Assets. The company Digital Asset owns Canton Network. So they say they're gonna switch over to Digital Asset. They mention right here migration to the Canton Network. There you go. So if R3 Corda and the XDC was all that, they wouldn't be leaving, but they are. So take it however you want it. Reverse payment. Yeah, you've got so many partners mixed up in this. Right here, R3 Corda. I asked Grok. Grok says R3 Corda is not the ongoing base platform with Canton just put on top. They, instead of, like everything runs on the XRP ledger, this is not, the R3 Corda is gone. They're not having R3 Corda and then putting Canton right on top of that. So that's not going to happen. That's not happening. Instead, HQLA has explicitly announced a full platform migration away from R3 Corda, and they're going to the Canton Network as its new foundational distributed ledger technology. This is a strategic replacement of underlying technology stack called R3 Corda and XDC. Now, the migration is planned, but it's not yet executed. It remains subject to the regulatory approval from the Luxembourg's CSSF. Just thought I'd let you know. But they sure are putting out all the announcements, so hey, these rich people, they do what they want. So you have HQLAX in 2017, and it was at first explicitly built on R3 Corda, a private permissioned enterprise. But later, as of like right now, they're announcing they're leaving R3 and going to Canton. Okay, why are they leaving? Strategic drivers. Canton enables broader ecosystem connectivity across regulated markets. That's why. Canton enables broader ecosystem connectivity across regulated markets. It has privacy-preserving interoperability and scalability. Maybe because R3 is too slow. I don't know. Addressing limitations. Here's one of the problems with R3 Corda. Limitations of a single private Corda ledger while maintaining institutional grade. It's not interoperable enough. The Corda platform is like, it does just like maybe one thing and that's it. Whereas Canton has more variety in uses. So instead of having to use R3 Corda and have something to kind of try to fix it, just use shit that works. That's kind of the way I'm explaining it, all right? It appears that the Canton network easily moves across custodians and tri-party agents. It just works better for their needs. This is a positive funded evolution, not a pivot due to failure. Production volumes continue on the existing Corda platform pending migration. So they're not saying that this is a bad thing. Remember, R3 Corda has a very specific use case. And they are needing a platform that does more of a variety of things, okay? This is a deliberate upgrade to Canton for better interoperability and future proofing. So there wasn't enough room on the R3 Corda platform to grow for the future. It was really limited, okay? So they're talking here about Canton's better at interoperability and the future proofing. R3 Corda and the XDC served as a proven base for 7 years of live production. Canton becomes the new base, and there's no evidence of layering or hybrid permanence or nothing. Okay, let me click out of that. And let's go. Okay, Canton Network, Canton Coin, R3 Corda, XDC. These are all institutional grade blockchain platforms focused on real world asset tokenization and financial services. But they differ sharply in architecture due to use cases, okay, and openness. Some of Canton, R3 is not as open. Okay. Canton's a public layer 1 blockchain, privacy preserving, permissionless layer 1. It's the network of networks, okay? That's its purpose, the network of all the networks. It's built for institutional finance and real world asset tokenization and securities. Canton excels at configurable privacy, atomic interoperability, 24/7 settlement, and scaling tokenized assets. It can handle treasuries, collateral, repo across banks, financial institutions while connecting to public crypto rails. Canton Coin pays the fees and incentivizes real usage, which are validators. This is not for retail DeFi speculation. So the Canton Coin is not meant for you to buy it and hope that it goes up, okay? It's not the point of it. It's probably going to have a set price or something like that. R3 Corda, enterprise-focused peer-to-peer permission distributed ledger. So here's R3 Corda, is optimized for confidential, regulated financial workflows among known parties. Like they have to know each other. R3 Corda is for like interbank settlements, trade finance contracts, digital asset exchanges. R3 Corda prioritizes privacy by design and legal smart contracts over public openness. Historically, it powered specific exchanges like the SIX Digital Exchange. So R3 Corda is more for like banks and payment type stuff, okay? Whereas Canton Coin is for trading and tokenizing and doing business. R3 Corda, to me, looks more like financial workflows, interbank settlement, trade finance contracts. that kind of stuff. Digital asset exchanges where you're trading money to a bank and stuff. So they're similar, but Canton is better for the businesses. And I'll leave it at that. The XDC network, where does it fit in here? The XDC token. It's enterprise grade, high speed, hybrid blockchain, public with private elements. It's specialized in trade, finance, digitization, supply chain, kind of like supply chain coin like VeChain. It does invoices, shipping documents, receivable, cross-border payments, small to mid-size enterprise inclusion. XDC powers fees, staking, and smart contracts. XDC crypto focuses on bridging traditional finance gaps in global trade rather than broad securities markets. So XDC is helping the finance end of the trade, whereas Canton Network is the security markets trading tokens and shit. So that's kind of like the rundown of all of this here. I think before I confuse everybody, I'm going to stop with that. Let me check the comments, and we got 10 minutes left, possibly. Thanks, Hulk. Always on top of it. And that's Josh Walters. Thank you very much for that. Let me look in these comments. XDC is for settlement, like XLM. Yeah. Trade settlement, like XRP is for big money. Excuse me. XRP is more of a bridge currency for like banks and financial institutions. That's the original intention of it. Is to act as an intermediary for big money. Stellar comes in with the smaller money, but XRP is for like the businesses moving big money, and XDC is like moving the money in trade finance. So, and then the Canton network is like when you're trading all of these, you're going to need a platform for tokenization and moving those securities. So, if you want to buy something on the Canton network, of course, they're going to have rails out of the XRP ledger. That's how you move the big money. But moving that crypto around, that's where Canton comes in, and tokenizing shit. That's where the Rise comes in for the property. So XDC is still going to be there. I think what they tried to do is build it on XDC, and it just didn't work. All the trading like Broadridge, HQLAX, Clearstream, DTCC. XDC has its purpose for like remittances, let's say, but then the actual trading portion, that's where Canton comes in. So there you have it. I think all these cryptos are going to be worth a lot of money one day, but I don't give price predictions, none of that stuff. Sometimes Grok does, and I'll show you, but I'd rather just focus on real world use case. So that's why I explained all these. They all have all of these. XRP has a use case. Canton has a use case. XDC has a use case. So there you go. It's all good. Joshua Tree Heavy Hauling says, I guess don't marry any project. You got to adapt and change directions. Exactly. I'm not married to any of my crypto. I got to bust moves. Like when I see certain things like this, like, okay, for instance, have you ever seen the answer is no. I've never seen an article really on R3 Corda or XDC. I didn't never, but Canton, that motherfucker's in the news like every week for like a whole year. But R3, that shit's been out. I mean, yeah, R3 in 2020 hooked up with a 6 digital exchange. Like that's like the only news I ever heard. 3 or 4 years ago, DTCC came out with, they were hooking up with R3 for Project Ion. But in the news, for like the past year, maybe year and a half, Canton's always in the news. I'm not saying anyone's better than the other. So for me, I'm trying to explain to some people, because the Cryptoholic, how would you cut loose your XDC? I'm not married to any project, okay? What I have to do is see what crypto am I always seeing in the news, and that's Canton. I'm never seeing R3 at all in the news because its use case is different. It's probably not, I mean, just the Canton. I watched the CEO of the Canton network. I like that guy. He is business, man. That guy is a perma bull, okay? The guy, the CEO, Canton coin is all about real world. That's probably one of the most real world use case coins besides HBAR. Is you go watch that guy who runs Canton coin. That guy's a fucking business beast, okay? If Canton coin is trying to make shit happen, move all this stuff, R3 is for finance. It's a totally different use case, all right? And I think a lot of these people are trying to make R3 something that it was, and it won't work. It does what it does, finance, that's it. You want to trade securities and shit? It's Canton coin. Real world shit, that's what's up, Canton. So as crypto evolves, you can stay in the same place or you can evolve with the market. I'm choosing to evolve, but I'm not telling you what to do. Don't do what I do, all right? All right. You know, I think that's good enough. We got 3 minutes left. I'm going to wrap up this show. That's for show. And I'm going to call some $500 people. Let me see who's on my list. Who's on the list? Alan K. Alan, I'll be calling you very soon. Stevie Mariano. Is Root actually bankrupt? No. Snafu guy. Got to call Snafu up. And I think maybe Goldstein. White Goldstein. I had about 5 people. All right. I will see you all in the next broadcast. I don't know if I'm going to have an AM show tomorrow. I got to make some phone calls first. That's my priority. All right. I will see you in the next one.